Have you ever chosen instant noodles over cooking dinner just because it was quicker? Or wondered why you spend money on snacks at the cinema when you could bring your own? These everyday choices are all connected to economics. Economics is everywhere. It's not just about money or graphs, it's about choices and how we make them because resources like time and money are limited. Every time you decide how to spend your time or money, you're making an economic choice. But economics also shapes the world. Countries decide how to use natural resources, fight unemployment, or recover from a recession. Governments choose how much to spend on healthcare or education. Businesses decide what products to create and how much to charge. All these choices influence our world. So, what is economics? At its heart, economics is about scarcity. Resources like money, time, and natural materials are limited, but human desires are infinite. This creates the need to make choices, choices that affect individuals, businesses, and entire nations. For instance, why does a family choose to spend on education instead of luxury goods? How does a company decide whether to invest in technology or expand its workforce? What leads a country to prioritize infrastructure development over healthcare? These questions are at the core of economics. By studying economics, we gain insights into how decisions are made and their consequences, helping us tackle real-world problems like poverty, unemployment, and inflation. To understand this better, let's look at some famous definitions. Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, defined economics as the science of wealth. He emphasized how nations create and distribute wealth. For example, he would analyze why some countries have abundant industries while others depend on agriculture. Alfred Marshall gave a more human-centered definition. He said economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. This includes how we earn, spend, and save money. Imagine a farmer with limited land who must choose how much wheat or rice to grow. If people want more wheat, the farmer will grow more wheat to earn more money. And if rice is in demand, the farmer will grow more rice. This shows how people make choices when resources are limited, which is a key idea in economics. The scope of economics is vast and continuously evolving. It can be broadly divided into two main branches. Microeconomics focuses on individual decision-making units, such as households, firms, and industries. It analyzes how prices are determined in markets and how resources are allocated. For example, how a small business, like a local milkman, decides the price of its product based on production costs and market demand. Macroeconomics deals with the economy as a whole, studying aggregates like national income, inflation, unemployment, and economic growth. It explores government policies that aim to stabilize and grow the economy. For example, understanding how the Reserve Bank of India's monetary policy affects inflation. Imagine the Reserve Bank of India, or RBI, as the manager of the country's money. If the prices of goods rise too fast, which is known as inflation, the RBI will increase the cost of loans by raising interest rates. This means people and businesses spend less, and prices can ultimately decrease. Another important part of economics is econometrics. It uses math and statistics to study and understand economic events. Over the last 100 years, it has helped economists analyze small-scale microeconomics and large-scale macroeconomics problems more effectively. For example, imagine an economist wants to see how education affects jobs. They can use econometrics to look at data like how many people go to school and how many get jobs, and figure out the connection between them. Now let's learn about the term economy. An economy is a system that organizes the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. In simple words, it's how a country manages its resources. Every country, company, and even household has its own economy. For instance, a country's economy, like the Indian or US economy, reflects the collective economic activities of its people, businesses, and government. A company's economy involves how it manages its resources to maximize profit. A household economy focuses on how families budget their income to meet their needs and save for the future. Now, let's learn about the sectors of an economy. The economy is divided into three main sectors. The primary sector focuses on natural resources like agriculture, fishing, and mining. It forms the backbone of developing economies like India. For example, farmers growing wheat or miners extracting coal. When agriculture contributes significantly to the national income, the economy is called an agrarian economy. The secondary sector involves manufacturing and industrial production. This sector adds value to raw materials. For example, factories producing textiles or automobiles. Economies where this sector dominates are known as industrial economies. The tertiary sector provides services like banking, healthcare, and IT. It's the largest contributor to India's GDP. For example, teachers, doctors, and software engineers. When the service sector dominates, the economy is termed a service economy. Additionally, there are two advanced sectors which fall under the tertiary sector. Quaternary sector, known as the knowledge sector, it includes activities like education, research, and IT development. For example, universities conducting research on renewable energy. Quinary sector focuses on top-level decision-making in government and private corporations. For example, policy decisions made by CEOs or government leaders. Now, let's learn about the interdependence of sectors. While these sectors are distinct, they are deeply interdependent. The primary sector supplies raw materials to the secondary sector. For example, cotton from farms is used in textile factories. The secondary sector creates goods that are distributed and sold by the tertiary sector. For example, a factory produces smartphones that are sold in retail stores. The tertiary sector provides essential services like transportation and banking, enabling the smooth functioning of the other two sectors. For example, a farmer, primary sector, grows wheat. A mill, secondary sector, processes it into flour. Finally, a bakery, tertiary sector, sells bread to customers. Now, let's look at how economies grow. In 1960, W. Rostow came out with a theory about how economies grow by looking at developed countries. He said that economic growth happens in 5 stages, usually moving through agriculture, industry, and services. However, not all countries follow this exact path. For example, countries like India and others in Southeast Asia, such as Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam, skipped much of the industrial growth and went straight from agriculture to service-based economies. Let us look at some examples. Classic pattern, Rostow's model. The United States and much of Western Europe followed Rostow's stages, gradually moving from farming to industry and then to a service-based economy. For example, during the Industrial Revolution, the US and Britain grew rapidly in industry before developing strong service sectors. Deviated pattern. India saw major growth in its IT and services sector starting in the 1990s, but its industrial sector didn't grow as quickly. Similarly, the Philippines focuses mainly on services like business process outsourcing and skipped a strong industrial phase. These differences show that economic growth doesn't always follow the same steps and can change depending on a country's resources, policies, and the global economy. Now, let's learn about the types of economic systems. Human life depends on goods and services like food, water, shelter, and clothing. The main challenge was ensuring everyone had access to these necessities, which involves producing and distributing them. To produce them, we need money for investment. There are different ways to organize an economy to address these challenges. Over time, several economic systems have developed. The 3 major ones are: first, market economy. Imagine a busy marketplace where buyers and sellers freely decide what to sell, how much to buy, and at what price. The idea behind this is freedom of choice. Adam Smith called this the invisible hand, meaning the market can balance itself through supply and demand. If many people want the latest smartphones, companies will make more because they can earn good profits. Competition keeps prices fair and quality high. As a result of Smith's ideas, 2 economic systems emerged. First, capitalism. It focuses on creating wealth, but sometimes a few businesses get too powerful, reducing competition. Second, free market economy. It relies on the market to decide prices and production with minimal government control. The capitalist system was not free from challenges. It lacked effective ways to support the poor, had limited government help, and led to growing inequality, despite efforts to tax the rich more. After the Great Depression, economist J. M. Keynes suggested borrowing ideas from other systems to fix the economy. After applying these ideas, economies showed signs of improvement, blending old and new economic strategies. For example, in the United States, the Great Depression showed how the system's flaws hurt ordinary people, leading to the government taking more active steps to address poverty and unemployment. This mix of ideas became the foundation for modern economic systems. Second, non-market economy. Inspired by Karl Marx, this system includes socialism and communism. In socialism, like the former USSR, the state controlled resources. Whereas in communism, like China, the state also controlled labor. The key ideas of this system were: resources should benefit everyone. Society should own and control resources, that is, no private property. No buying and selling, no demand and supply or competition. People work for the government, which provides for their needs. How did this system work? The government decided what to produce, how much, and how to distribute. For example, in a non-market system, the government decides to serve free meals in all college cafeterias. It chooses the menu, how much food to prepare, and how it will be served. Students can eat for free, but they can't choose different dishes or brands. The food is the same for everyone. This system was first tried in the USSR, then spread to Eastern Europe and China, creating socialist and communist economies. Downsides of this system: lack of capital creation. The focus wasn't on wealth creation, leading to fewer investments. Resource misallocation. The government's control often led to inefficient use of resources. Lack of innovation. No property rights or rewards discouraged progress and innovation. Non-democratic systems. Political freedom was limited, and the state became the main economic player. By the mid-1980s, both the ex-USSR and China moved toward mixed economies, combining socialist and market elements. Let's learn more about this. Mixed economies. By the late 1930s, market economies started adopting elements from non-market systems to recover from the Great Depression. France formally adopted a mixed economy in 1944 to 1945, focusing on national planning. By the mid-1980s, non-market economies also began reforming. The World Bank also realized that the government needs to be involved in the economy, moving away from only supporting free markets. It recognized the problems with both market and non-market systems and recommended a system that combines parts of both for the best results. Key attributes of a mixed economy: dual responsibilities. Both the state and private sector have important roles. Private sector takes care of tasks that aim to make a profit, like producing goods people buy. State involvement provides public goods that everyone uses, especially when making a profit isn't the main goal. A mixed economy is adaptable and can change to meet new needs. It blends the benefits of both market and non-market systems, moving away from strict models and settling debates about the government's role in the economy. For example, India. Think of tech companies in India, like startups creating apps. They are free to innovate and compete. At the same time, the government runs things like railways and oil companies to keep these services affordable for everyone. We hope that you've understood the topic. EduRev offers a variety of resources that will help you to prepare for UPSC. You can study chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure your selection in UPSC. Thank you.